Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum, welcome. Today we are looking at the predicted paper by Maths Planner, and this is a nice paper because they do have all of the different topics that are potentially, they have all of their topics there and potentially what could come up. And again, their disclaimer, these topics are not guaranteed, but they are part of your revision. All right, and just a reminder that every day we'll have live lessons until your paper 3. So do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And another disclaimer, you can get this paper and the work solution. There is a link in the description of the video, there's a link to the paper. So you can download the paper and follow this with me. All right, let's get cracking. Here is question 1. Off we go. And if you need more time, press pause, and then you can, when you're ready, you can press play for the answer. Okay, so we've got question 1a, factorize 3x squared plus 12xy. So step 1, I am going to write these out in terms of their prime numbers. Write out as primes and x's, y's. And then step 2 is I will look for common factors. So you've got 3 times x is x squared. And then you've got 12xy is 2 times 3 is 6 times 2 is 12 times x times y. So you've got 3 here and 3 there. You've got an x here and an x here. So those are your common things. There's nothing else that's common. So I'm going to take that out. 3x. What do I have left? I've got x plus 2 times 2 is 4. And I've got a y there. So 4y. So my final answer is 3x brackets x plus 4y. Now you'll have 1 mark for one of these terms and then the second mark for it being fully correct. Question 1b, a equals to 2b plus c squared. Make b the subject. So step 1, I am going to look at BIDMAS. And then step 2, I am going to work backwards. Reverse. So I have got b the subject. So if I start off with b, what do I do to make it 2b? I need to multiply it by 2. Once I multiply it by 2, it becomes 2b. Then I'm adding c squared. That gives me 2b plus c squared. So when I'm going back, and that gives me a. When I'm going backwards, I'm doing opposites. So opposite of plus c squared is going to be minus c squared. And then the opposite of times by 2 will be divide by 2. So if I do this, we write this out here. A equals 2b plus c squared. Opposite of that is minus c squared on both sides. A take away c squared equals to 2b. And then opposite of this is to divide by 2. Divide by 2. So that becomes a minus c squared equals to over 2 equals to b. And that is my final answer. So that is question 1, which is worth 4 marks. Now we like to see how many marks we can bank. So these are the grade boundaries for the summer 2023 papers. For a grade 3, for all 3 papers, we needed 31 marks. So per paper, we need 11. Now, these obviously are just indicative. Things will go up, things will go down. So we're just using this as a guide. So question 1 was worth 4 marks. 1, 2, 3, 4 marks banked. Let's go to question 2. Okay, off you go, question 2. Question 2a. Question 2a, write 5 times 10 to the power minus 5 as an ordinary number. So this, because we have a negative reciprocal, 5 times 10 to the power minus 5, that negative we can change into 5 divided by 10 to the power 5. So now the negative disappears, okay, because we've changed the sign, because that tells us it's reciprocal. That's the same as saying 5 divided by 1 with 5 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is 100,000. So if we do that, that gives us 0.1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can also check by counting 5 place values. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 place values. Okay, so I hope that's clear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Question 1, question 2, part B. Again, if you need more time, press pause. When you're ready, press play. Write 830 times 10 to the power 6. So 830 is not in standard form. So step 1 for standard form is we need the first part to be a number is from 1 to 9, and it can be a decimal like 9.3, for example. And then the second part is we need a power of 10. So for example, 2.1 times 10 to the power 7, that's an example of something in standard form. So we need to turn this into that. So 830 times 10 to the power 6. Now, first of all, I'm just going to put a decimal point here, 8.3. What do I do to 8.3 to make it 830? I need to multiply it by 100, which is 10 to the power 2. 2 zeros. Okay, so that's what I've done here. And then I am multiplying that by 10 to the power 6. So now you can spot 2 tens, the bases are the same, so I can just add the powers. 8.3 times 10 to the power 2 plus 6 gives me 8. So 10 to the power 8. And that is my final mark for that. Okay, so a lot of working out there just for 1 mark. But I can check. First part is between 1 and 9. 8.3 is between 1 and 9, and a power of 10, 10 to the power 8. Question 2c. Work out 5.1 times 10 to the power 5, take away 3.1 times 10 to the power 3. Give your answer in standard form. So it is a calculator paper, so let's just put this into our calculator to see what it gives us. 5.1 times 10, I've got the power button there, times 10 to the power 5, take away 3.1 times 10 to the power 3. That gives me 506, 900. So that's not in standard form. So we go back again. we don't have the first part, needs to be between 1 and 9. So we can take all these digits. We have to include the other digits here, so we don't just ignore it. So this becomes 5.069. So that's now between 1 and 10. Times 10 to the power. We count our place values. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 jumps. So 10 to the power 5. And that's our final answer. 5.069 times 10 to the power 5. So question 2 is worth 4 marks. Let's add that to our tally. One, 2, 3, 4 marks. So we've got 5, 8. We need 3 more marks to bank our grade 3. And just a reminder, if you are here for the first time, remember to subscribe to the video, to the channel. Here is question 3. Off you go. Okay, question 3b. Question 3 rather. AB and BC are parallel lines. So you got AB and BC, and you can see these arrows tell us that they are parallel lines. Work out the size of angle X. So angle X is here. So we can do this many ways. You can see from here, the key is we have parallel lines. So we need to think about, step 1, is we need to think about our rules of parallel lines. And so if you think about parallel lines, we've got what we call alternate angles, which are like this, Z angles as we call them. We've got corresponding angles, which we look for F angles, and then we can call co-interior, or supplementary, and they add up to make 180. Okay, so we're looking for one of these here, and we can just connect this. So we've got a parallel line here, and then if you connect this, what do you have there? You can see that's an F angle, so this means that X is also 138. Okay, so work out the size of angle X, so that's simply 138. Part B, give a reason for your answer. So our reason is, this is a corresponding angle. X is a corresponding is. Okay. Part C, it tells us work out the size of angle Y. So again, we have to use our rules to find out what Y is. I'll give you a few moments to work that out. Okay, so let's look at this. Hold on, my sentence is incomplete. X is a corresponding angle, or corresponding angles are equal. Corresponding angles are equal. corresponding angles are equal. Okay, let's look at y. So if you look at y, let me use a different color. If we get let's use a blue color pen, and you can see we've got parallel line here, parallel line there, and if you connect them, can you see what you have? This is what we have, the C angle, which is co-interior angles add up to make 180. So 72 plus something gives us 180. 180 minus 72 gives us 108. So our answer for y is 108. And give a reason for your answer. So co-interior angles add up to 180 degrees. Okay, so this question is worth 4 marks. And I think this is very likely to come up in the exam. Let's add that tally. 4 marks. 1, 2, 3, 4 marks. So we have got 5, 10, 11, 12 marks. We've banked a grade 3. Let's go on to the next one. Okay, question number 4 is box plots. Box plots is very likely to come up in the exam as well. Question 4. The following data represents the scores of students from 2 different classes on a recent math test. A box plot for class A is drawn below. So we've got this. Now let's remember what we have as in a box plot. We have our lowest value here, our highest value here. This is our lower quartile, median, and upper quartile. A, write down the median test score for class A. So we can see here median is here, but before I do that, I need to look at my scale. So I can see here there are 5 boxes. 5 boxes equals to 10 units, or 10%. So what does 1 box represent? 1 box equals to 2. 10 divided by 5 gives me 2. So if I look at my median is 2 boxes along. So that's 50, 52, 54. So this is 54. So my median score is 54%. Question 4, part B. The table below shows information about the distributions of the test scores for class B. So we've got the score lowest, interquartile range, median, upper quartile, and the range. So notice what we have got and what we don't have. On the grid above, draw a box plot for the information in the table. So we've got our lowest, but we don't have our highest. We've got a range. So range means high take away low gives me that. So let me just write that down. Range equals the highest value take away the lowest value. So we've got 56 equals highest value we don't know, take away the lowest one, which is 18. So we can now work out what the highest value will be. It's 56 take away 18 gives us the highest value. So what's 56 take away 18? Gives us 38. So that will be one of our scores, 38. We've got interquartile range, median, and upper quartile. So similar to for interquartile range, IQR equals my upper quartile take away my lower quartile. So my IQR is 24. I have my upper quartile, which is 68. And I don't know my lower quartile. So again, we can kind of swap these around, take lower quartile to the other side, 24 to the other side. So our lower quartile becomes, I'm running out of space here, lower quartile equals my upper quartile, which is 68, take away 24. And that gives me 44. And now I can plot these on my box plot. So my lowest value is 18. So again, going from 10 to 12, 14, 16, 18. Use a ruler. Let me find my ruler. Get my ruler, make it neat. Here we are. So this is 18. My largest value was did I just do something wrong here? Did I just do a subtraction when it should have been 18? It should have been adding 18, not subtracting. Don't know how I got that, because lowest plus the range gives me my highest value. So that should be 18 plus 56. Not sure what I did there. 18 plus 56 gives me 74. That's right. Not sure what happened there. I'm trying to squeeze everything in, so that's probably why that happened. Okay, so 74 is my largest value. So I've got 70, 72, 74. Got that there. My median is 60, so that's nice and easy to do. 60, 74. Write these out just to make it clear for me and the examiner. My upper quartile is 68, so I've got from 72 away, so that's going to be 68. And so my lower quartile should be upper quartile take away my range, which is 68 take away 24, which gives me 44. So that calculation was correct. So 40, 42, 44. And now I just combine them. And so that is my final answer. Okay, so now I've got that. So that's part B. Part C, compare the distribution of the test scores for class A. Sorry, question 4C, compare the distribution of the test scores for class A with the distributions of the test scores for class B. So we need to compare the distribution. So when we're comparing distributions, we are usually comparing the median and the interquartile range, IQR. So let's look at median for A is 54. Okay, as you know, I like to put my signs there. So let's find the median for B. Median B is 60. So now the inequality sign will allow us to compare it. Which one is smaller, which one is bigger? This is smaller than that. So the median A, 54, is less than the median for B, which is 60. So I've got my Should write here class A rather, class A and then class B. So that's my first comparison. I need to do the same thing now. So the IQR for class A is, okay, so A is upper quartile, so this is 62. And my lower quartile is 2 boxes away from 40, so that's 36. So I can do 62 take away 36, gives me 26. Let's double check, making silly in case we make silly mistakes. So 26 is correct. So my interquartile range is 26. And then my IQR for class B is, and it's given here, 68. So which one is big? So which one is bigger and which one is smaller? Sorry, what am I doing? 68. My interquartile range is there, 24. What is going on this evening? All right, so my interquartile range is 24. So IQR for class A is 26. If I look at 24, which one is bigger, which one is smaller? This one is bigger, so I'm going to put my inequality here. 26 is bigger than that. So IQR for class A, 26, is greater than IQR for class B, which is 24. Now that's a comparison. Now I need to add a bit of context. So if you think about it, test scores, if you have a smaller interquartile range, it means you are, if you have a bigger one, it means class A is more inconsistent, and a smaller one means that you are more consistent. So I can add a bit of context. So class A is more inconsistent. Okay, so that's a bit of context added to the question. So as part of your communication mark, we need to think about the scores here. So this is where we're talking about the inconsistent. In this case, it's scores. Class A is Class A has more inconsistent. Class A has more inconsistent scores. You could also say Class B is more consistent, more reliable. So that's worth question 4. A good 6 marks there. This is very likely to come up in the real exam. So yeah, this one, if you are not sure about this, practice more of this. If in the YouTube channel, you can search for box plots and it will come up. So that is worth 6 marks. Let's add that to our tally. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we've jumped 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18. We've banked our grade 4 now. Well done. We are now on course for our grade 5. Okay, here is question 5. Off you go. Question 5, you can see, is a nice kind of topic here. Question 5a, simplify a squared times a to the power minus 5. So if we have a letter by itself, it's got a power of 1. So the base, they are all the same, so we can just add the powers. A to the power 2 plus 1, take away 5. 2 plus 1 is 3, take away 5 is minus 2. So a to the power minus 2. Nice 1 mark here. And you can see, remember this idea about working through the paper. You will be able to bank these easy marks. Let's look at question 5b. Simplify 4wc cubed to the power 3 all over 8wc. So step 1, I'm going to write this out. Write out to the power cubed. Step 2, I'm going to simplify. Simplify, we look at the numbers, we look at W, and we look at C. We have to look at everything here. So here, because of the 3, 4WC cubed means we're going to write this out 3 times. 4WC cubed, 4WC cubed. Be careful when you're writing it out. Nearly made a mistake there. All over 8WC. So you can see I'm multiplying out 4 3 times. 4 times 4 times 4 times W times W times W. And then I've got C cubed times C cubed times C cubed all over 8WC. So I can see here that I've got 4 times 4 times 4. Use my calculator here. Is 64. I've got a W here and a W there. That can cancel out. I've got one more W and another one. 2W, so W squared. I've got a C here which will cancel out with one of the C's here. So let's change this one here at the end to make it 2. So I've got 3 there, 3 there, 2 more there. So 3 plus 3 is 6, plus 2 is 8. And I've got that 8 left at the bottom, so I can cancel that out. 64 divided by 8, what do you get is 8. So this is now 8 C to the power 8 W squared. And that is my final answer. Okay, so it's worth 3 marks. So for one of these parts, you'll get a mark most likely. All right, so that's our part B. Let's look at part C. Question 5C. Write 32 to the power half as a single power of 2. So step 1 is we need to change to a power of 2. And then step 2 is use the rules of indices. So we've got a power of a power which will be multiplied. Okay, so let's look at this first. So 2 times 2 is 4 times 2. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 16 times 2 is 32. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 2 to the power 5 is 32 to the power half. Let me just write that out. 2 to the power 5 equals to 32. So we've got 2 to the power 5 times a half, which is 2 to the power 5 over 2. I don't need to simplify, that's enough, because it's a power of 2. Okay, I hope that's clear. So that question is worth 6 marks there. Nice, good chunk of marks. Let's add that to our tally. 6 marks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 10, 15, 24. We're 3 marks away from banking our grade 5. Okay, so here is question 6. Have a go with question 6. Question 6. Given x to y equals 4 to 5 and x over w equals 7 over 3, find the ratio x to y to w in its simplest form. So I've got different things going on here. I've got a ratio and I've got a fraction. So I need to have them kind of in uniform. So I'm gonna, step 1 is rewrite everything as ratios. Rewrite as ratios. Also, not ration, ratios. Also, you probably may have your own way. So if you've done something different to me, that's fine as long as your final answer is correct. So you could do this differently as well. So I have got, so rewrite these as ratios. We've got x, y, x, w. So we've got three different things. So I am going to kind of, step 2 will be, I'm going to align the ratios. So align ratios like place values. Like place value. And then usually with these things, there will be a link, something will link. And so step 3 is where they link, find the LCM, lowest common multiple. All right, I think that's it. And then from there, we can then, once we find the link, find the LCM, and then we will simplify step 4. Simplest form, simplify. So let's do this. So we got x to y is 4 to 5. So we got x is at the top, which is 7. W is at the bottom, which is 3. So I'm going to put x to w here. X is 7 and w is 3. So can you see what I mean by, so I've rewritten them as ratios and aligned the ratios like a place value. So you can see x's, y's, and w's. They're all aligned. And now you can see the commonality is the x ratio. So now what's the LCM of 4 and 7? 4 and 7 go into 7, 14, 21, 28. So I'm going to multiply this one by 4. 7 times 4 is 28. 3 times 4 is 12. And then 4 times something gives me 28, so that's going to be 7. 4 times 7 is 28. And then this one here as well, I'm going to multiply by 7. Let's make these clear. 5 times 7 is 35. So you can see I've got 28 to 35 to 12. And is there any common numbers here between them? 12 is an even number, 35 is an odd number, 28 is an even number. 3 doesn't go into 35, 5 doesn't go in, 6 doesn't go in. And so I think this is our final answer. There's no common numbers between them. Yeah, so that's our final answer. All right. Okay, so that's worth 3 marks. So you can see there's quite a few steps there, but once they kind of all link together, so that gives us 3 marks. So let's add that to our tally. One, 2, 3. So we now have got 25, 27. We've just banked a grade 5. So well done if you have done that. Let's go to the next question. Question 7. Okay, nice question here. If you've been doing these live lessons with me, we've done mean from a table a few times. So press pause, and then when you're ready, press play. All right, so work at question 7. The frequency table gives information about the time taken for workers to drive to work. So we've got time, we've got frequency. Work out an estimate for the mean time for their drive to work. So step 1 is we need to find the midpoint. Step 2 is we multiply the midpoint times by the frequency. Step 3 is we do the total of step 2. And step 4 is we do the total frequency And then step 5 is we divide step 3 divided by step 4, the numbers that we get there. So what's in the middle of 0 and 10 is 5. Now you can do 0 plus 10 divided by 2. So that's how you can do it, or you can just do it by looking. 10 plus 20 is 30 divided by 2 is 15. 20 plus 30 is 50 divided by 2 is 25. 30 plus 40 is 70 divided by 2 is 35. So you can also do it just by looking, but also everything I've said I can do on the calculator as well. 30 plus 40 is 70 divided by 2 is 35. So you can also take your time, don't rush in the exam. You don't want to lose marks, especially on questions like this that are fairly easy to do. Multiply these together now. 5 times 5, I don't need a calculator for that, 25. 15 times 13, I will use a calculator. Sometimes it's also about your brain energy. If you have a calculator, use it. 25 times 18, because in the exam, you can use your brain energy to solving questions. 35 times 4 gives you 140. And as you're using your calculator, it's just easier for your mind. Now we need to add all of these, so that's my step 3. 25 plus 195 plus 450 plus 140 is 810. That's my step 3. Step 4 is my total frequency, adding all of these together. Use my calculator again. 5 plus 13 plus 18 plus 4 gives me 40. And so my mean equals 810, my step 3, which is 810, divided by my step 4, which is the total frequency. This becomes 810 divided by 40 gives me 20.25. And let's look at the context of the question. The table gives information about the time taken, so that's minutes. We don't need to convert into seconds for this question, so that's enough. All right, I hope you got that right. So that's nice, 2 marks. It's 50-50, this one. It could come up, in my opinion. It could not also come up, but it's something easy to do. This question, however, in my opinion, is very likely to come up, which is frequency polygon. All right, press pause. If you need more time, I'm going to make a start. So we know how to do this. Step 1 is we find the midpoint, which is what we've already done. And then step 2 is we turn these into coordinates. And then step 3 is we plot them. And then step 4 is we join them. Okay, so those are our 4 steps. And you can do these in your head, some of these. I mean, you can do it by looking here. What's in the middle of 0 and 10? So you've got that there. So we've already got these here, so I can write them out. 5 and 5. 15 and 13. 25 and 18. And then we've got 35 and 4. I might have to rewrite this so I don't have to go up and down. Actually, should have done it like that. So let me just write it here, just so that you've got it all on one screen. 5, 5, 15, 13, 25, 18, 35, and 4. So now I've done my midpoint, my coordinates, and now I plot them. 5, 5. So along the corridor up the stairs, 5. 15 along the corridor, 15 up the stairs. And look at my units. There are 5 boxes, and it equals to 5 units. So I don't need to do any conversions here or counting in jumps. So this one is done. 15 to 13, 10, 11, 12, 13. 25 to 18, 15, 16, 17, 18. Remember, use a pencil in case you make a mistake. You can always rub it out. 35, 4. 35, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we've plotted them. Now we join them. Okay, so that is done. Question 7 is worth 5 marks, so let's add that to our tally. One, two, three, 4, 5 marks. And we have got 25, 32 marks. We are 6 marks away from a grade 6, and we have to end this session very soon, unfortunately. So if you are joining me, do click the like button. This question is worth 4 marks, question 8, and this will be our last question for today's session. So do share this video if you are finding it helpful with your friends. All right, question number 8. Nice problem-solving question. Question 8. Here is a cube and a triangular prism. So we can see that. That's not really helpful. Let's delete this sentence. We can focus on the remaining part. The volume of the cube is equal to the volume of the triangular prism. So you've got the volume of the cube. So this is a cube, is equal to the volume of the triangular prism. Work out the surface area of the cube. So we need the surface area. Give your answer correct to 2 decimal places. So we have here, the dimensions for the cube is missing. So it's a cube, so all of the sides are the same. All right, and you've got the cube is equal to the triangular prism. So the prism, we need to work out the volume for the prism. So step 1 is we need to find the volume for triangular prism. Now volume is area. Volume equals area times by length. So here this area is a triangle. So it's area of a triangle. Area of a triangle equals half base times height, or base times height divided by 2. Let's do it like that. Base times height divided by 2 is easier to see. So once I find the and then I multiply this by the length. So I've got that step 1. Step 2, after I do that, I have to, using that, find the volume of the cube. So I'm having to go backwards. So volume of cube, which is x times x times x, x cubed, and I have to go backwards. Okay, once I have that, I can then find the length. So going backwards helps me find x. And then step 3 is I need to find the surface area. Surface area, and surface area is length times width, so x squared. And then it's total surface area, so step 4 is total surface area. All right, so I hope that's clear. Let's go through this. So area of a triangle. So this is my triangle. Let's make it really clear. My base is 8 and my height is 4. So my area equals to 4 times 8 divided by 2. What is that? Let's put that into the calculator. Is 16. So then my volume becomes area times by my length, which is 16 times by 8. So my volume is 16 times by 8 gives me 128. So that's my step 1 done. Now I need to go backwards. So the volume of a cuboid, because these are equal, x cubed equals to 128. So going backwards, what's the inverse of cubing? It's going to be the cube root. So that will give me x equals, what's the cube root of 128? So looking at my calculator, it's above this square root. It could be different for your calculator, so you need to know how your calculator works. Cube root 128. Cube root 128. Felt like I pressed the wrong button. So this is 5.0396842. So keep all the digits. 5.0396842. And now we want to then find the surface area, so we square it. So x squared equals, so we square that, press the squared button, equals 25.39, 25.39841683. Now we've got a surface area, but we want the total surface area. How many surfaces do we have? We've got the one at the bottom. So we've got the bottom. The bottom and the top are the same. So we've got top. We've got the right-hand side and the left-hand side. So we've got top, bottom, right, left, and we've got the front and the back. So we've got front and back. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. So we need to multiply this by 6. So 6x squared equals times this by 6 gives us 152.390501. Let's read the question. What does it say? Give your answer correct to 2 decimal places, 1 decimal place, 2 decimal place. I've got 0 there, so I don't need to worry about it. So my total surface area equals 152.39. I don't know why I wrote that. I could have just put that here. 152.39. So that is worth 4 marks. Okay, so let's add that to our tally. So 4 marks. 1, 2, 3, 4 marks. Okay, and we are going to pause here. I'm going to show you some of the other things that I have. I've got some other papers, practice papers, and if you're still here, just to show you on the channel, I've made a playlist, and on the predicted paper 3 are all the predicted paper videos that I have done. So this will obviously increase as we do these extra sessions. So I'll do another session tomorrow, maybe even 2 sessions. So I'll try and do as many as I can so that you've got lots of practice until your exam on Monday. Any comments in chat? Otherwise, we'll end the lesson. I can't see any other comments. So thank you everybody for joining. I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully, inshallah. Take care. Assalamu alaikum. Bye-bye.